Hello, welcome to Wottiesvanlife. If you're new to our channel, welcome, and if you've seen us before, welcome back. This is a bit of a day for us today. We've had so much rain. We've had what they call an El Nino front over the southeast of Australia, and it has just drenched us since about December actually. So we've acquired a couple of leaks. The leaks that we've had have kind of been around our fan area, which I think is pretty typical once you cut a hole in your van. So yeah, it's been dripping here, but it's also, as you can see up here, it's collected up here. So we know that there's a water entry point somewhere up here. Also inside the cupboard, you can see up the top there, the wood there is actually going mouldy. So yeah, so we've got to take down part of the ceiling this morning and take the fan off. Mark's got to get up onto the roof, take all the old Sikaflex off because that's all cracked and everything. So I'm going to replace that. So we're hoping that's going to cure it. So this video is kind of about, you know, how we get on today, and hopefully we get this fixed.
So straight away getting that down, you can actually see all this timber's wet around here. So we've obviously had a lot of water in there. Just hope it hasn't done too much damage to the rest of it. So because these boards are tongue and grooved up here, I can't pull them out. So I've got enough room at the front, I think, to knock this one, as it's only a short piece. So I'm going to try and knock it that way so I can take a look up the top. Right, so straight away you can see the wall up here is holding the water. It's all wet, look. So we've got to get all that out for sure. Otherwise that will just rot away. Won't do us any favours at all.
So the insulation's really wet.
Yeah, it's a bit, it's not soggy, but it's definitely got water on it. Yeah. You can see all this bit of timber here that's all wet. That's I don't know if you pick it up on the camera, but it's all dark.
And that's very dark, isn't it?
Yeah. So as Alison was saying, all the old Sikaflex around this fan, we're going to have to take it off. And actually getting up here, you can see a lot of it's just corroded away anyway. It's all, obviously it's got a lot of muck and stuff in it from the weather and the Australian climate and stuff. But yeah, so I've got to try and get all this off. Also, while you're up here, it's a good idea to take a check of the rest of the roof, because obviously look, we've got some also got some rust issues going on here. It was a little repair once before, and obviously that's going to need attention at some point. And there's all these little ones here that are only going to get worse. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to get up here and take a look at your roof and any maintenance that might need doing. But yeah, so we'll get on with the fan today and see how far we go with that. So I'm just going to start using a paint scraper, and I'm just going to scrape this access off because it's quite soft. As long as I don't scratch the metal too much, we should be good. It's going to take a while, but it's just... So I've got probably half of it off now. I've just got a couple of issues with it though, because if Alison was to zoom in on these screws here, they're actually cracked around the screw, if you can see that, and all along here. So when I screwed this on, I did it above all these contours because obviously it wouldn't fit, you know, like that over the shape of it, and it was dead flat. But over the time, I don't know if it's the sun or whatever, but it's forced it down to the shape of the van, and these are cracked. So I don't know if that's my problem, where the water's getting in. But yeah, we'll carry on and see what we find underneath. I'm going to try and get the fan right off and hope it's not too brittle that it breaks. But I think I need to take the fan out to see what's inside the ceiling properly. So we'll do that.
So we're hoping now Mark's taken the screws out and he's got a little bit of the Sikaflex off, that this roof vent is just going to come out in one piece and it's not going to break, because we want to be able to put it back in. Don't really want to order a new one. I'm just going to see what the situation is underneath this fan. Obviously this fan has been in since we built the van 3 years ago.
And there's our problems. All this rust. I think that's off the side of the van where the hole's been cut as well.
Oh, big wasp, big wasp.
Oh, shit. Where'd that come from? Did that come out of there?
I don't think so.
Holy crap.
I didn't want you to fall off the roof.
Jesus.
Trying to panic you too much. I didn't want you to fall off the roof. Right, take two.
Anyway, now the bloody man-killing wasp has flown off. I'll get back to it. Yes, look. So here you can see all this. Look, I think where I've cut through and the water's been sitting. Although I did paint all the edge of this when we did it. It's not done too good a job. So yeah, the water's definitely getting through. I can see the timber back there is not too bad, so I won't be taking that out.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I'll just get all this off, clean all this and see where we are from there. That's the good part of the van. This is the bad part of the van. Oh no, look at that. So my problem was in this corner. This is all soaking wet here. It's obviously getting through. And you can see it's run along here. All the edge of the hole's rusty. So we're going to have to get all this old Sikaflex off. And do some rust treatment. Don't worry about that. Just look at that part instead. So a little progress update. I've probably been doing this about 3 hours now, and I've got most of it off. As you can see though, where I've been scratching, I've gone down to the metal, so I'm going to have to sort that out with a bit of primer and paint. And I've still got these bits to do here, and obviously all this rust here to take care of as well. So it's quite a job.
And here we are, day 2 of our fix of our leak that we've got in our MAXX AIR fan. Big day yesterday. Mark cleared all of the old Sikaflex and everything off the top, but we've still got residue up there. So we're going to be using this isopropyl alcohol. That's going to get the residue off and get it nice and cleaned up. We've got a bit of rust up there, so we're going to use this rust converter. This is going to kill the rust, send it all nice and black. Then Mark can sand it all down and get rid of it. Etch primer. This spray will just prime the metal so we can spray it with this. So we get it back to white again, spray it so it's all nice and clean and looks lovely again. On top of that goes a nice clear coat to make it all glossy. And then the fan can go back in.
So here we are back on the roof today. We've got a lot of cleaning up to do and preparation to put the fan back in today, as Alison was saying. So all this old stuff here is what I've got to get off. It would probably be alright like that, but I'm going to try and get it right. I've been to the shops today as they're open, and we've got this alcohol stuff. So here we go. spray a bit of that on there. Yeah, straight away you see how clean that's coming up. Look at that. Absolutely amazing stuff. You down there, Doris?
Oh,
Don't get sprayed in your eyes. Jesus.
No, I think I should cover the seat up. Do you?
Oh yeah. I just realised I'm spraying all this stuff up here. I haven't covered the seats up down below.
Yeah. What's the upholstery?
I'm in trouble.
I'll do it, shall I?
I was too eager to get on.
Preparation.
I know. So all I'm doing now is just sanding the rust spots back, get all the loose stuff off, ready to apply the rust converter. There's a fair bit of it. But, I'll do all these little screw heads as well. I'm just going to chuck it all on there. Apparently this stuff eats away at your paint as well, so you've got to be careful with it. So I'm just going to use a little artist brush just to brush it on, so it doesn't go everywhere. And you're supposed to leave that for a while to do its thing. Apparently the trick is not to overuse this, because it's very strong. You alright down there, Wottie?
I'm going to check our lottery just to go and pick up the winnings.
You reckon we won? Oh,
Yeah.
You're going to pick up the winnings?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I put it in the machine, and the machine's going to be all bells and whistles. And, well, you might as well stop now, really.
So what are you saying, our van life might be changing? I can pack all this in. So that's all done. I've applied the rust converter. So I'm going to take the fan down now, give that a good clean while this is all doing its thing. And we'll come back and clean this off and sand it back down in a while. Well, it's now time for the scary bit around the vent. I've prepped it as much as I think I should, so now I'm going to get up there and prime it. And this is the worrying part, whether you've actually prepped it enough or you've got all the rust off or anything like that before you start. I've put a sheet of plastic in there so none of the spray gets into the van, but here we go. We'll get up there and see how we go with this. So I'm not even going to mask up anywhere. I don't care if there's any overspray goes anywhere or anything like that. I've got this is a grey primer, but I've got a white paint to go over the top of it, and I've cleaned all around the area, so hopefully I've done enough for it to stick. So as you can see, I've covered quite a big area, gone way over the area I needed to go. But how I'm looking at it is the state of this roof anyway is all different colours and blotches and everything, so I don't mind doing that, and then I'll put a white coat of paint over the top of that, and then the clear silicone over the white paint after that, and then fingers crossed when I stick the fan back down it'll all stick to it and it'll be happy days. So having given this 2 or 3 coats of the white paint, I'm now just going to seal it all with this clear top coat. Gives it about 4 coats of these. I've already given it a couple, so
Now, as you can see, we're inside a warehouse. This is actually where Mark works for some of the time. The company here have been great to us. They've allowed us to do all this repair inside because the weather's been terrible. It's been raining more or less constantly. So this would have been impossible for us to do, having, you know, a hole now in the van. So it's not hardly watertight. So yeah, we're really, really grateful to have this at our disposal. So the next thing to do is to put the fan back in. So Mark's going to stick it down with this straight onto the top here, then screw it down and then seal it with this. So this is Sikaflex 252. It's a high strength adhesive and sealant. It's made for caravans and camper vans, so this will do the job, top job. So we'll get this done, and hopefully that's going to be that, and it'll be fixed and we can get on with our lives and our travelling.
So before I put the fan back in, I've got to put my bits of plywood in, because if you look up here, you can see the amount of flex in this. So if I have to get up on the roof any time, there's a chance that I might upset the seal between the fan and the roof. So I've just made a couple of bits of plywood, or cut them even, not made them. I'm just going to slide that in there. I'll put a couple of screws up there, which will be covered by the flange of the fan, and then you can see that's going to be a lot more sturdy if I have to get up there. Hello again. So let me get my arm through. One of the problems we've got, we're sticking this fan back down again, is this roof isn't flat. We've got all these bumps in it, the shape of the roof, so obviously the fan is going to sit flat on here, which means we've got about that much gap underneath it, which we have to fill with Sikaflex, which isn't ideal, because ideally it would be, you'd want a flat surface. So yeah, we're going to have to use more than what we should really, but hopefully it will go off and do the job for us. You can see I've got to build this up so much just to get level with those top ribs, and then I'll lay the fan on here, and then I'll just pump the stuff underneath it. But I'm doing like 3 levels here just to get the height I need. So I've now got a good base under there, and I'm going to start screwing it down, and then we'll seal around the edges. As you can see with these screws, when I'm screwing it down, we've got the stuff coming out the sides, which is a great sign. It means it's flat under there. It's a very messy job. Once you get it on your fingers, it's everywhere. And now I'm going to just go around all the edges and fill all those up again, make sure it's really under there, and then across the top of all the screws, cover those up so the water doesn't get down the edge of those. Remember, when you're doing this, all you need is just a little pinprick of a hole and the water's going to get through. Especially on a van like this, because the shape of this roof slopes down, so when you're stationary, all the water just sits here, it just pools, and obviously the pressure of that forces it through any tiny hole you might have. I just use these little paddle pop sticks just to force it under there. So if I hadn't put those pieces of plywood underneath this roof would be so flexing now, and it would be upsetting all the joints I've done. Just make sure that's all in there. I don't think I'll make a very good cake icer. But it's not about how it looks, it's about the efficiency of it. So hopefully the fan is finally on. I've gone around it and sealed it. There's Alison in the background doing her thing. Say hello, Wottie. So yeah, I think if I carry on, I'm just going to overdo it. So I'm going to leave it and let it go off. And I think that's that.
So that's it, all done. Woo! 3 days of all of that preparation, but it'll be worth it in the end because it's done a proper job, so it won't leak anymore, there'll be no more rust, and we can sleep easy, and we can sleep outside. We've slept inside this factory for the last 2 nights because guess what, it's still raining. So this has got to go off as well, so we're not going to go outside just yet either. We'll give this another 24 hours to go completely off, and then yeah, we might actually be able to leave and go outside. Well worth doing though. Glad to have the fan back. Well done, Wottie. So I hope you enjoyed this video of ours. Not so much a how-to, just how we did it. Good outcome for us. Thanks for joining us, and please subscribe and give us a like if you like this video, and join us next time on Wottiesvanlife.